I meant a Zoom game. So that's something different. We'll see if we have enough time to discuss that too. But what I want to do, I want to do two different types of creating blocks while I move. When you go to try this out, you should do it in your own world because it can be very destructive. Don't do it in the group world, please. So I have my old code from last time. I'm gonna just add to that. And I'm going to, let's see, on chat command. So the first one, I'm going to create a trail of flowers behind me, just because that's fun. And then inside of that, I'm going to put a let's see. I guess I'll do a forever loop. I was hoping I could do until I received a new chat. Oh, I can. We'll do a while true loop. And we'll do a variable. And the variable will be flowers. And so I'm going to set flowers equal to 1 when I do this. And then I'm going to have this while loop. And I'm going to use logic in that. And I'm going to compare if flowers equals 1. Or while flowers equals 1 is what I'm going to do there. And I'll show you how we're going to deal with that in a moment. So while flowers is equal to 1, I'm going to go to blocks, and I'm going to place a block. This 0, 0, 0 here is not the overall coordinates. This is the coordinates relative to you. So I'm just going to leave it like this right now, only I'm going to turn this into a flower. There we go. And I'm going to hit play. So as I walk now, I should have had flowers placing behind me. Oh, I didn't do the command. Okay. The chat command, flowers. And everywhere I walk, a flower appears. So that's kind of fun. And then we want to be able to turn that off though. So here's what I'm going to do is I'm going to have another chat command. And that chat command is going to be flowers off. And all this chat command is going to do is set flowers to 0. Because remember up here, we had this while flowers is 1, we're going to keep doing this. And when we do flowers off, it sets flowers to 0, and it will no longer continue doing this. So we'll hit play. I'm going to walk around, see that I'm still spreading flowers behind me. I'm not. So I was curious about that. That turned off when I went into the code. So I'll go back to walking, make sure I'm now spreading flowers behind me, and then I'll do the text command, flowers off. And I should be walking now and not have flowers immediately behind me. Perfect. Okay, so that's a good way to populate an area. You could also set up a house like this a little bit. What you would want to do for a house. Let me walk over here. Let's see. I'll walk quite a ways down here. Okay, so if I wanted to do this as a house, what I would do is I would go to code. I'd duplicate this whole thing. Good. Whoops. And I would do dirt. Okay. duplicate this whole thing. So I've got dirt and dirt off. I'm going to place, or I'm going to get a new variable that's dirt. And I'm going to place, oh, sorry, I'm going to fix that dirt. I'm going to fix this so that it is dirt. Turn this to dirt off. And then here's the detail. If I do this just like this, and I start walking, I need to hit the text. That dirt's gonna be weird. Okay? It'd be great for making a dirt tower, but that dirt's appearing where I am, which isn't exactly what I want to have happen, because it's awkward, okay? So instead, I want the dirt to appear behind me as I'm walking. So let's go back and fix that. And I'm going to mouse over this for a moment. I was hoping it would tell me what my variables were. It just says a decimal number. It doesn't tell me which direction. I know this middle one is below me. So it's either going to be I know this middle one is the height, the up and down coordinates. And I bet you guys who have played this, oh, it's probably X, Y, Z. It's just what X and Z are relative to me. I would bet I want to change Z to -1. So negative so that it's behind me. Now I'm going to hit play on this again. I'm going to walk a little further away. And I'm going to do dirt. And dirt appeared behind me. So I'm going to walk. As you can see, I'm getting a bit of a house here. I'm going to beat this one up. Ah, that's not what I meant to do. It's just an inconvenient sort of house that I can't get around. So, I wasn't even moving my cursor for this one. So as I noted, this is probably not the most convenient way to build things because things kind of get in your way as you're walking around. Because I can't even turn around to look and see what I've done, because when I turn around, a block gets placed behind me. Okay, so that's another option that you can do for that. So the next thing is there's some more useful stuff that you can do with this stuff too. So we're going to copy this again, duplicate it. Ah, not that one. I just did crazy things. Okay. Oh, and down here I set the wrong variable still. We want that to be dirt. And we want to fix this one. I'm just going to duplicate this and pull it over instead of trying to do other things. There. Okay. So I want this new one to be air. And I want to duplicate air off. This is where it gets really destructive. Okay. I'm going to have a new variable, air. I'm going to change all instances of dirt to air. And then instead of placing a single block, I'm actually going to go over here and place, yeah, I'm going to use this fill. And then it'll tell you to replace or make it hollow or outline or keep or destroy, those kinds of things. You can play with those. I have not, I will admit, played with most of them. I only know replace and hollow, and we'll get to hollow in just a moment. So I'm going to fill with air, and the detail here is you want to go all around you. So if you're 0, 0, then these coordinates are, you can think of as if you picture a cube and you hold it between your fingers so that you can spin it. You're holding two opposite vertices, two opposite points, corners. And so whatever you do, like if I do a -3, -3, -3 down here, and then I do a 3, 3, 3 up here, then I will actually get a 6 by 6 cube that I'm creating. If I just want 2 by 2, then I'd replace this all with 1s. If I wanted it to be much larger, I'd make these numbers larger. Remember, this -3 here is from side to side. The second one is up and down, and the third one is front to back. So if I wanted to do something only in front of me and not behind me, then I would do a 0 and a +3. Play around with it and see what it does. Now, this is the fun thing, is we're actually going to fill with air so that we can hollow out spaces. It's really important. Well, I'll show you something. We'll have an interesting first experience. So I'm going to hit play. I'm no longer trailing dirt in my failed attempt at making a house. And now I'm going to type air in my chat command. And do you see what my issue is? I am drilling underneath myself. So I've actually gone into the void because I was making a hole underneath me. So either you need to make it so that, let me think for a minute, so that you aren't drilling into the ground underneath you, or you need the ability to fly. So now I'm going to go forward though, and you're going to see that as I go forward, I'm doing more drilling. Unfortunately, I can't see while I'm drilling. And then, oh, I accidentally hit my double space twice instead of just once. If I want to go back up to the surface, I'm just drilling air out in every direction. It's kind of a cool thing. But as I said, it's exceptionally destructive. So we can walk forward and we can just go right through this mountain. It's doing some really interesting graphics here. Okay, there we go. So now I've got a hole straight through the mountain from one side to another. So this is a really cool way to get some tunnels. As you can see, I'm not collecting anything by doing this. So it's a good way to get into a place that you might see diamonds or something like that, but it's not a great way to actually try and mine for materials. Okay, so I'm going to command air off so that I'm no longer being destructive. I'm going to walk back through my tunnel. You can play with setting torches up too. Just be aware that if you're actually doing the air behind you, that'll be a problem. Okay, now I am going to modify my air so that it's less destructive. And I'm going to say I don't want it to go below me, and I don't want it to go behind me. And then I'm going to go ahead and also place a torch behind me. So I want it just to be -1 for this last one. Let's see if I can actually place a torch. Not everything you would want is in here. Yep, good. Okay, now I'm going to hit play. And I'm going to text air, or type air here. And I'm going to walk forward, turn around. I've got piles of torches behind me. Now, as I drill into the side of the mountain, I can actually see what's going on. Now, for sure, placing a torch every place behind me is overkill. But it's actually not a terrible thing when you're out mining because you'll be able to see what's going on with you. So you don't even need to get the air gone in front of you if you don't want to. You can just set it up so that you bring a trail of torches behind you to make things happen. As you can see, these little torches over here are ones I've destroyed. Okay, so one last thing. And let me get back out of here into the main area. I've got my air off because I did stuff. I've got this beautiful line of torches, maybe a little bit excessive. And the final thing I can do, and this is how you can build an interesting kind of house, is on chat command, I'll just call it house. I'm going to fill an area. I want to do glass. There we go. And I'm going to fill all around me. So I'm going to go 10 in front of me, -1 below me, so that the ground is turned into glass, but I'm not lifted up. 10 to the side of me. Sorry, 10 behind me. And then I'm going, 10 in front of me. I've swapped our negatives and our positives here. I'm going to go 10 to the right of me, 20 high. Here it shows me what the places are. There we go. East, west, up, down, south, north. There we go. And then I'm going to do -10 behind me. So I've created a 20 by 20 house here. And instead of replace, I'm going to do hollow. And now I'm going to hit play. I'm going to type house. And we're going to see what I get. We got a nice big house. Okay, and it even went down into the ground. So I can walk forward. I can destroy some of the glass to put in a door. Or I can even perfect my house code so that no matter what game I'm in, I can just immediately start typing house. And I'll have the exact house I want. So I could, tell it exactly where I wanted to put the door. I could tell it how I wanted my roof and my bed to be. You could get really complex with that, designing your dream house, and then be able to bring it with you into other worlds. So that's kind of fun. You can do the same thing to put a big hole in the ground, like we did with our agent, only again, it wouldn't be collecting the items. It's kind of a fun tool playing with these brick placements. Again, though, please do it in your own world until you've perfected the types of code you want, and then you can bring things over like a house into our world. I just don't want you completely destroying things. So, like, if I were to walk over, or if I were to walk down into this hole, and I did my house right here, let's see what happens. Oop, I didn't want code, I wanted text. As you can see, I hollowed out everything in this hole and dug my house up. So it can, even when you're producing things, it can be extremely destructive. So just really be respectful, figure out what you're doing in your own worlds, and then by all means, come show us the amazing things you've created in the shared world, because I think this could be a really neat tool for making some pretty cool things. And that's all for today.